get out to the field, doing what I love. As long as I'm out here, I don't care where I end up. Big old buck on the ground, about had a heart attack. Can't wait to tell the boys back at the bone shack. Bring it on back to the bone shack. Bring it on back to the bone shack. It's got antlers on the wall, rusty old nails. You can sit and listen to the stories it could tell. Listen about the one that got away with a big old rack. Can't wait to hear the story from the bone shack. Bring it on back to the bone shack. Bring it on back to the bone shack. Bring it on back to the bone shack.
We originally had a turkey hunt planned for this morning, with a call from a local landowner who needed some help with some predator control and saving some of the calves that were just birthed. We decided to head on out and try to pull some sets for some song dogs. Got him? You got him? You got him? Get him on time. Got him? On our first set, it was no more than 5 minutes before we had a dog come in to no less than 20 yards. We called it in with our hand calls. We weren't ready, so we missed the shot. We headed out to pull a second set with our e-call. And no less than 3 minutes into our set, we had a coyote coming in from over 400 yards away. Okay, don't move. Don't move. Good, good, good. Get the camera. Get the camera. Good, good, good. I don't see it. Hold on. Hold on now. Hold on.
see at all. I couldn't see at all. I just smoked him, I know.
So we need 2 cameras, bro.
I know, bro, bad.
Good job, buddy. Just wait. You get the GoPro, come on. Did that scare you, bro? Blitzkrieg game calls. Doing the job. Stinson lures. Calling them in close today.
Well, we came in today. Early this morning, it was raining. We thought we were going to go turkey hunting, so we called it. Be better turkey hunting weather tomorrow. So we thought we'd come and call some dogs at least. So we have some permission to some new grounds. We came in here. The other day I called in a dog under a minute. I missed him at 60 yards. So we come in today, first setup, we call one in within, what was he, 20 yards?
About 20.
20 yards. I reach over, John trying to get him in the camera, I miss him at 20 yards. So we try this other spot. We come down here, we set up about 3-4 minutes, another dog comes in and we couldn't get him on camera. We're thinking we didn't, but he wouldn't stop running, so he stopped at the base of us, so I pulled up the shotgun. John told me, get your gun, I'll shoot him. And that's what we have behind us, so we have every set we've called in a dog in here, but I guess I need to start shooting a little better. But anyway, we'd have a bunch of kills in here already, but that's what we did this morning. I think we're going to go grab some breakfast, and I think we'll chill out in here for a little bit and let it rest up. Maybe hit it again in another week or two. But right on.
It's the last day of my 2012 big game hunting season. I've got an arrow knocked with the cam strap rolling, and I'm within 100 yards of 2 shooter bucks. We found the bigger of the 2 bucks first thing this morning. He was 2 miles away, tearing up some sagebrush, and had a bunch of does around him. Due to the herd's location, my cousin Luke and I had to come in from the back side, which meant a 2,000-foot vertical climb and several miles out of ridge once we got to the top. It was a good little pull, but we knew that it was worth it, as I had just put a stock on this buck a couple days earlier, but all I got out of that one was some good footage. Once we made it to the top of the ridge, we had to bypass a couple mule deer herds and even passed on a stout 3x4. Once in the 3 Points neck of the woods, we got lucky and were able to find him bedded down in the sagebrush about 1,000 yards away. Soon thereafter, he got up and fed a little bit and rutted his does. We studied the area a little bit and decided on a pre-stock position about 3/4 of the way between him and us. This was the perfect scenario for an ambush, so I grabbed my bow and with the cam strap rolling, I left Luke behind with the camera and went in for the final stalk. Things were looking really good until I spotted a fresh set of antlers bedded down on the same ridge that the 3-point was on. The buck soon got up and started feeding, and I realized that this was a nice 4x4, not quite as good as the 3-point, but with this being the last day, I decided that I was going to have to take whichever one gave me the first opportunity. I continued closing the distance as soon as the 4-point went out of sight. About 10 minutes later, I approached the sagebrush where the 3-point was bedded just an hour before. I knew the bucks could be anywhere, and I was definitely getting close, so I got down on my knees and began to crawl. From Luke's position, it looks like I'm right on top of him, but there's more of a rise than it looks, leaving him just out of sight. It's the 4-point, and with only 2 hours left in my season, I'm not about to pass him up. Little did I know, the 3-point is only 10 yards to the right. I made it as close as I comfortably could without getting spotted and ranged him at 30 yards. Now, all I had to do is wait for him to turn broadside and put his head behind a bush, and I was ready to shoot. Just as I came to full draw, the buck picked up his head and caught my movement. He ran, and then that's when I finally saw the 3-point. The 3-point didn't give me a shot though, but luckily, the 4-point stopped broadside at about 40 yards. The shot looked good and felt good, and hopefully Luke had seen more than myself. So, while I waited for him, I took off the cam strap and replayed the footage.
You think he's done already? Will we be
Think
able to
so.
see him if we go right up
Yeah,
here?
if we just go stand over the hill, we should see him.
After reviewing the footage, it appeared that he wasn't going to last long. Still, I figured it was best to sneak in there as if he was still alive. I'm scared to get him up. He's laying right there. He's laying right there. We should just back out. I don't want to lose sight of him. Let's get over there on that ridge, and maybe we can glass back at him. Amazingly, the buck was still alive, but had only gone about 50 yards since I'd shot him. As I'd feared, the arrow had hit low, and had only clipped the bottom of the lungs. The shot was fatal, but it was going to take some time, and dark was closing in on us fast. After assessing the situation, I determined that it was in the best interest of all parties involved for me to stalk in to see if I could get another shot. The arrow hit right where I wanted it to, but as he was running, his back leg pulled it out a little bit, making it look further back than it actually was.
The shot's far back, but it was angled up in there. It was right as he was turning.
I could see it hanging out.
Yeah, with the arrow? Yeah, I can see the arrow hanging out. And it looks back, but apparently it got up in there and did some damage. I took the only shot I had with the way he was angling. It was perfect. Yes.
Not a bad last day 4-point. Pretty good for this area. He's got a small double eye guard, and he's got some junk over here at the base on his left. Well, things were looking pretty good till this 4-point got in the way. But on the last hour of the last day of my season, I'm more than happy to put my tag on him. This buck is welcome in my freezer anytime.
I head out to the field, doing what I love. As long as I'm out here, I don't care where I end up. Big old buck on the ground.